guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Laika, and on this channel we talk about all different sorts of types of things on here. And we're in a new environment. I'm not outside because, guys, it's burning hot. Summer done started. Let's look. Actually, it's about 88 degrees outside, and matter of fact, it's about to rain later. So I just can't do my videos outside. It's too hot. I barely like getting inside of my car. It's just way too hot, bro. It's just way too hot. So this might be the setup for a while. We're here. And as you can see, I got my, I paid for it, so I gotta, show it off. But no, your girl graduated, and everybody has to know about this. So yeah, your girl's a graduate. Not only that, but 2 graduations. So there's that. So let's get into today's video. Today's video is going to be about how self-devotion heals self-betrayal. This is about being devoted to yourself. I got my notebook, so that's what I'm reading off of. So don't mind if I'm looking down or I'm not looking directly into the camera. But this is about devotion to yourself. If you can help everyone but not your own self, then you are your own threat to your own being. The thing that I like to say is, or lately what's been replaying in my head this week was, stand for nothing, fall for anything. I talk a lot about how others will have you questioning yourself, but this has to do with you questioning yourself. This can look like you underestimating yourself, stopping for applause, making sure to do things right. But life isn't about performance. We always want to know, well, am I in the right direction? Am I making the right decisions? But more questioning leads to more indecision. Or maybe you know better but still don't do better. You lack trust and confidence in yourself. See, if you know better, then you do better. But maybe you're used to abandoning yourself, that you can't really trust yourself. You don't know how to count on you. You don't know how to comfort yourself. This is how you develop a relationship with yourself. You like to say one thing, but then you do another. Like any other relationship, it requires commitment and devotion, especially to yourself. Are you who you say you are? You talk about it, but you don't be about it. And one thing, like, I learned, my cousin used to be like, don't talk about it, be about it. But genuinely, are you who you say you are? You talk about it, but you don't be about it. Your actions don't follow up with the words that you tell yourself every single day. And it's like, it's breaking commitment and promises to yourself. When you're in a committed relationship and you break promises, what that leads to? A lack of trust. You have to think about it in the same way as in yourself. When it comes to day-to-day things that you do, are you breaking promises to yourself, breaking that commitment, breaking that trust? And that leads you to not even trust your own self. That's why when I say stand for nothing, fall for anything, you barely can stand for yourself. How can you help everybody else and you try to pour into everybody's cup, but you can't even pour into your own cup? You can't even stand for yourself, but yet you're trying to help everybody else, which just leads you to feel even more helpless and more powerless than you actually are. So this is about being committed and devoted to yourself so you can actually realize what you bring to the table. But I'm going to go ahead and continue. You talk about it, but you don't be about it. I said earlier, stand for nothing, fall for anything. Instead of questioning yourself, make space to explore and build the trust back with yourself. Your own soul doesn't trust you. You're an imposter to yourself. Your own soul doesn't trust you. You're an imposter to yourself. When you go ahead and say, I'm about to do this. Oh yeah, I have plans to do this, but yet you still don't do it. It's like you're an imposter to your own self. You're not actually being who you are, being committed and being devoted to the person you are. If you're going to constantly go out your way and do things that aren't in your favor, it's like, why am I going to be like, oh, I'm going to do this, that, and the third, and then I don't end up doing it? It's like the assignment is due and I'm not doing the assignment that I'm supposed to do that will later benefit me in the long run. It's easier to make sacrifices for yourself when you're actually committed and devoted to you, to where you're going. But you can't do that if you're going to continuously put things off, always put others before you, and not be devoted to yourself first. But I'm going to go ahead and continue. 9 times out of 10, not knowing yourself will lead you to questioning yourself and what you should do. This is why you can't trust yourself and be confident in what you do. The thing about it is, you need to not abandon yourself under any circumstances. This is what true self-devotion is. This is what I call true self-devotion, because you're going to continue to betray yourself if you're not being devoted to yourself. It's either one or the other. You're going to continue to self-sabotage if you're not actually going to be committed to the person you are. And it could be two ways. You could be committed in ruining your life and making decisions that don't benefit you in the long run, being around people that won't be there in the long run, and they're just eating off your plate. Or you can choose to be focused on who you are as a person, which later on brings in everything that you want. The more committed and devoted you are to the person you are, building yourself and taking care of yourself, the more blessing opportunities can come to you. Because money not gonna come in if you're not the person going to do the job. You have to show up for you. You showing up for you helps you to show up in everything else you do in this life. If you can't be committed to your own self, your health, whatever it may be, anything, if you're not willing to be committed to yourself first before you're committed to everything else, you will continue to be drained, depleted, and miserable. I'm just being honest with you. Because stand for nothing, fall for anything. The first thing you have to do is stand for yourself, or you fall for everything else, baby. This is all you have in this life is you. So the main thing that you should be committed to is you. Because if anything, being more committed in other people than you are to yourself will only be a threat to you, which can lead you down to be in the wrong places and be around the wrong people. Because some people don't always want what's best for you. They only see what they could take from you. So this is why you have to be devoted in yourself, so you can know where my energy is being put into, where my energy is going. But let's continue. Like I was saying, if you don't got you, then who do you stand for? If you don't got you, who do you stand for? That's a question. I really want to know. You have to do this for every part of you, even the part of you that doubts you. Lately, I've been thinking about how it's much easier to abandon yourself, self-sabotage, and say F it when things hit the fan. It's so much harder to think positively and not give up on yourself. To trust yourself even when everyone is making you feel wrong. Now you have to go reevaluate who you are. You can try and prove to everyone else, but fall through every time it comes down to you and your heart. Being is feeling. That means not abandoning yourself in the uncomfortable moments. When it's tough or hard, appreciating who I am outside of the performance of doing. Staying rooted in myself regardless of everyone else, or even the part of me that doubts. It's time to quiet that inner chatter, that loud inner critic, so you can start to tune in to you. Your own essence. Focus on being. You're all that you have in this entire lifetime. It don't get no better than you. So have a little more trust. Have a little more faith in you. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to you. Always. Don't stand in your own way. One of the examples that I can give for self-devotion is thinking about it as, okay, I have my own cup. My cousin has her own cup. I got a lot of juice in mine. She got a little bit of juice in hers. She's like, oh man, I wish I had more juice. I'm like, wow, I have a lot more juice in my cup. I done already drank from my cup. I'm feeling satisfied. My thirst is gone. I'm feeling real quenched right now. Not quenched. I have satisfied my thirst. I'm no longer thirsty. Let's just say that. And she's like, wow, I wish I had more juice. I'm a little more thirsty. I'm looking at my cup. I got a little more juice. I'm like, here you go, girl. Here, I can give her more juice because I already satisfied my thirst. I'm good. She's the one that's thirsty. I can give her some out of my cup because I already satisfied myself. I came first. And I'm not trying to make it sound egotistical, but because I satisfied my thirst, I was able to satisfy her thirst, if you understand me. Because I took care of myself first, just to summarize, just because I took care of myself first, everybody else is able to benefit off of that. And I think this goes for a lot of things, even relationships. If you are desperate, like, oh my gosh, I need to find a boo, I need to find a boo, but you don't take time to take care of yourself, you don't take time to look after yourself and to cater to your own needs, you will always fall short. You will never be satisfied. It's like endlessly you're gonna need more. You're gonna need more from your partner. Your partner is gonna continue to have to pour into you, because it's never gonna be enough, because you never learn to pour into your own self. I'm happy already, and because somebody else comes into my life and makes me happy, they only add on to that happiness. The thing about it that we don't realize to break this illusion is really to think we are already valuable right where we're at. There's already peace and satisfaction in the moment, and you kind of need to build on that. And even if you don't feel like that right now, you have to take time to build on that devotion, build on that commitment, and show up for yourself. Because if you don't show up for yourself, you fall for anything. You'll fall for anybody that comes around and says, oh, I love you, oh, I'll treat you right. No, you'll fall for anything, because you never taken the time to give yourself that happiness, that experience, and you'll go for anything that will give you that experience, that will give you that happiness. But this is for the people that genuinely want to do experiences that really light up their soul, light up their heart. But if you're going to continue to be around people and not be able to sacrifice people that are draining you, people that don't actually love you, and to realize, okay, maybe that wasn't really for me. And we like to fight and struggle on what we think is for us, but it's not really for us. And it drains us even more trying to hold on to it, because we find so much worth in that than we do in ourselves. And that's when we have to take that shift, and that's when that break happens. Whatever happens, they end up firing you, or that relationship doesn't end up working out, and you have to take time to reevaluate and find yourself again. And that's where the devotion comes in. You're committed in being happy with or without that person. And that's kind of how life works. It's like with or without. You have to be good with or without it. And being devoted and committed to yourself really helps with that, because I'm fighting so hard for this and I'm forcing this, but maybe it just wasn't for me. Maybe that opportunity wasn't for me. And another point that I would like to add is, you take life seriously and you take yourself as a joke. How does that work? And I'm not saying you're a joke, but for me, I felt like I took life so seriously, but I took myself as a joke. Like, you're taking it seriously as in, I have to do everything right. I'm not doing it the way this person's is doing it. And I give that example a lot though, but genuinely you get caught up in your head trying to do every single thing right and not actually living and experiencing life. I feel like life is meant to be experienced. It's meant to be felt. And we get in our heads trying to take life so seriously, but we gotta let things kind of be and allow ourselves to be, and not overanalyze everything. Because I feel like, me personally, I overanalyze everything and I'm in my head a lot, and I'm learning to step out of that and let myself actually live and experience life. And what it takes to really live and experience life is, a part of me has to be real with myself, real with the things that I want, and not lie to myself. Most importantly, that's one thing about being devoted and committed to yourself, is like, you can't BS with yourself. When things don't get done and you tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna do this, and you don't, that's you lying to yourself. And then that further leads you to not trust yourself anymore. There's a lot of situations where I've just put off my intuition and I didn't listen to myself, because I was like, no, okay, I want to see the best in this person, or I'll just purposely ignore my intuition because I chose to stay in situations longer than I should have. And it's like, yes, I knew better, but I chose to still stay in situations longer than I should have, because I chose to ignore my intuition. I chose to ignore the red flags when I seen them. And this is what happens when you're not truly committed or devoted to yourself. You're not really rooted in who you are. You go for anything. That's what I mean. When you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. You have to stand within yourself no matter what. And this means not abandoning yourself when things get uncomfortable and when things go wrong. Because you can cling to people, you can cling to things as long as you want, but at one point you're going to realize life has went by and you have taken this quote unquote seriously, and you have taken everything seriously but yourself. You can help everybody but yourself. So it's no use to catering to everybody else if you can't even cater to the person you are in your own life. How are you going to take life seriously and you don't even take yourself seriously? You lie to yourself every day. You lie to yourself in the relationships that you're in. You probably don't even need to be over there, and you're forcing yourself to be over there. Why? Why? Because you have no commitment to yourself, which leads you to not even trust yourself further. You keep lying to yourself because, listen, you got to see where you come in and how others benefit from you being around. Because a lot of people can benefit from you being around without you even realizing. And they're playing off of that. They're playing off of you not knowing your own worth, not knowing who you are, and taking advantage of it and flipping it against you. They're using your own energy against you. And you keep pouring into them and you're wondering, oh, I'm so drained. Like, I'm so tired. I have no energy to do anything. Like, I don't feel inspired. I haven't felt inspired in a while. Yeah, because they're draining you. They're soul sucking the life vitality out of you. You need to leave. You need to go. And one part of being committed to yourself is actually trusting your intuition, because your soul starts to trust you less when you don't listen to your intuition. Like, at one point I felt like I couldn't tap into my intuition, but it's because I was believing and listening to other people that were just as confused or trying to confuse me. And instead of listening to myself, I'm listening to what others are telling me. Like, yeah, they could be like, oh, well, I didn't mean to make you feel that way, but yet their intentions and actions still make you feel that way. So it's up to you to use your discernment, use your intuition on if I should keep this person around me in the long run, because will this benefit me in the long run? Because they're saying this to me, but their actions aren't aligning with, oh, I want to keep you in my life. Their actions aren't aligning with, oh, I want you in my life, I want to keep you, because their actions is giving, I'm going to keep you around enough, but not like I really want you around. Which just later leads to even more confusion. You're even more drained and you're even more confused when you should have just followed your intuition. You should have just followed that little feeling that you had and trusted yourself. And to a point where you don't trust yourself, you ignore yourself, and you don't listen to the moves that you have to make, the decisions that you have to make, that you feel inside in your heart. When you go towards decisions that don't really resonate with your heart, don't really resonate with your soul, that's you going against yourself right there. And every time you go against yourself, you go against that commitment. It's like stepping out of a marriage. You just stepped out of our marriage. You just stepped out of a marriage right there. You just cheated on yourself. Every time you go against your own decision, go against what you feel is right for you, you go against yourself. You just cheated. You just betrayed yourself. That's what self-betrayal is. Every time you ignore your own intuition for the benefit of somebody else, for what they said, for this, that, and the third, whatever it may be, every time you go against your own soul, your own intuition, your own knowing, you betray yourself. You lose. Every single time. Then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I knew. And some of y'all do know better. Some of y'all do know better. You know you right. And you still want to go figure out what's wrong. You still want to go do what's wrong just to see if you're really right. Like, how does that work? How does that work? And I'm saying this because I would do this. I would literally be like, I don't too much understand what you really trying to tell me right now, because your actions ain't aligning with what you saying. But just because you said it, I just might hear you out. And I be knowing it's BS every single time. But yet you still go and do it. This is why you stay in situations longer than you should, because you're ignoring your own intuition. And at some point, you'll stop hearing it. It'll just be poof. It'll just be silence. It's going to be harder to tune into yourself because you done been so long with ignoring yourself that when you do try to go towards that feeling, you're going to feel like a nervous wreck. You're going to be scared. You're going to be like, whoa, am I really doing, like, I know that was weird, but was it really weird? No, it was weird. You need to keep it pushing. And this is like something that you got to get used to with life, because it's like you have to move accordingly. And it's not just like, oh, cut people off, F them people. No. It's genuinely about sitting down and thinking, will this person that keeps moving the way they're moving in my life continue to move like that in the future? Because if that's the case and they're moving wrong and they're not, they got to get executed out their position, babes. They're not deserving to be in your life. They're not deserving to be here at all. And this is not just about relationships. Soon as you take that sick day for too long, soon as you call out too much, soon as something go left and you break a leg, that job don't give a fuck about you. It don't. That job don't give a fuck about you. They will find somebody to replace you in a heartbeat. So if it's costing your sanity, it's costing your peace, and it's costing your health, then you have to go. Which is why you need to be catering to yourself most importantly. Have a little more compassion for yourself too. Like, don't be hard on yourself. A lot of the time, self-betrayal can come with a lot of shame. Like, you betray yourself constantly because you don't find yourself worthy, or you think in your mind you have this shame around who you are as a person. And that's why you don't put in a lot of effort into who you are. You don't put in a lot of compassion to who you are, because a little part of you inside low-key hates who you are. You're not happy with the person that you are, and that's okay, but you have to have a little compassion, just a little generosity and careness that you give to other people. You know other people have flaws, but you still love them anyway. If you stand for how you deserve to be treated and what you deserve to get out of this life, then I believe you'll ultimately get it. And you need to be committed into knowing that, yeah, I deserve better. Not only that, just taking care of yourself and being compassionate to yourself, because that's what's getting things done. You're the one that's getting things done. And if you're not showing love to yourself in the process, then you won't fall in love with the process. Because a part of you has to love what you're doing, love how you're showing up in life, and everything just flourishes and blossoms after that. More comes, more opportunity. Be real with yourself. Be real with the things that you're not doing that you know you're supposed to do, and stop putting it off. Do it. Stop being scared and just give yourself time. Trust yourself. Stop betraying yourself and being yourself, okay? This is the end of the video, guys. I'm so glad that you guys tuned in. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm glad you guys tuned into my video today.